WUMS, University, Oxford.
What's up, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Welcome back to the Roommate Podcast. I'm Lucy.
And I'm Jacey. Today we're going to be talking about how to find solace in stillness and how to be more present in your life. I'm genuinely so excited for this episode.
Jacey's new filler word this week has been genuinely.
Genuinely, it has. Sorry. Yeah, I don't know what it is. I think it's just a wonderful filler word, and it is genuine.
We'll be in our room having a conversation about something, and Jacey goes, genuinely. And then she'll go off to explain something. I'm like, that wasn't even necessary.
Anyway, besides the point of me being obsessed with the word genuinely, last week we talked about change and growth and how to implement it into your life. And we made some goals for ourselves last week. Yeah. What was your goal, Lucy?
My goal last week was to be more present in the moment, but I remember I also made a really specific goal to kind of stray away from my to-do list and, not focus so much on the things that I wrote down that I needed to do, but kind of just go with the flow each day. And you know what? I think I did really well with that.
Well, it's kind of ironic that your goal for last week was to be more present because that's what we're talking about today.
Yeah.
How ironic.
I know. I got off my phone, I had a lot of quiet time in nature, and it really helped me mentally.
Good. I can tell that you're less stressed than usual, and you've really been on it with your work, and every time I message you, you're doing something outside. So congratulations on reaching your goal.
Thank you. What about you?
So last week I made a goal to, what was it?
I don't remember.
Oh, I think my goal was one of them was not to be on Instagram Reels as much, which I think I've accomplished it a little bit.
I think so too, because I don't walk in the room and see you in your bed on Instagram Reels anymore.
Well, you did just about 30 minutes ago, but my other goal was to wake up earlier, which I am ecstatic to say I have been doing better at. Lucy can attest to this. On Monday, I have a class at 11, and that's my only class, and I woke up at 6 a.m. just because.
Yeah, let me tell y'all. I'm the early riser in the friendship, right?
Yes, she is.
And tell me why. I wake up, Jacey's already showered, she's fixing her breakfast. I'm like, what is going on here? My clock must be wrong.
Your clock. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I think maybe speaking about our goals to everyone listening is inspiring for us to actually accomplish our goals and not procrastinate like usual. Like I said, this week we're talking about how to find solace in stillness, and we're going to talk about what that even means first. So, finding solace in something means being comforted in times of high stress, which I don't know if you guys are feeling the stress right now, but
definitely.
It's really stressful. High stakes right now with college and classes, and we just got over midterms, and it's just... Who is right. But it's easy to get overwhelmed and so stressed out that it seems like the only way to feel comfort again is by giving up or avoiding hard tasks in the future.
Yeah.
This is why it's crucial to have a method of escaping when you're overwhelmed and having a reliable outlet that won't fail you and will help you calm your mind.
Yeah, and you know what? That is going to look different for everybody.
Yeah, it is. We're very, I would say that we're extroverted introverts.
I agree.
We go out and we do things, but we are in by a certain time.
Yeah.
And there's just a limit to how many outings we do per week.
Yeah.
Not that we're keeping count, but... So, what does stillness mean for us? We're going to give you a few examples of what a still moment looks and feels like for the two of us, and maybe that can inspire you to try it out, because it's hard to make time for a still moment.
It really is, especially in college.
Oh, yeah. Lucy, take it away.
Ooh. So, what does stillness mean for me? I'm just going to give a few small examples here. One way that I find stillness is by sitting in nature. More specifically, the Grove. I have spent so much time this week just sitting in the Grove, and it truly is just such a peaceful area, and I don't know, just something about it brings me to peace.
Yeah, certainly sitting around all of the trees, and I've got to admit, I'm a squirrel lover. I love the squirrels.
Yeah.
I love watching the squirrels. They're precious to me.
Yeah.
I want to pet them.
I used to not be a fan of squirrels. It was just, they're one of those things. They're like birds. It's like, why are you even here?
And you said this to me yesterday, and I asked, why don't you really like birds? That's a bit confusing to me. I love birds. Tweet, tweet.
Anyway, another way is to get off my phone.
Ooh, yes.
I feel like you can, you see a notification pop up on your phone, and then you check the notification, and you're like, okay, I'm just going to respond and put it right back down. But then you open another app and you start scrolling, 30 minutes passes by, and then you look up and 2-3 hours has passed by in your day, and it's extremely discouraging to me when I know I have things to do, and I know I have hobbies that I want to practice, and I've spent hours a day on my phone doing nothing.
Yeah, we're actually learning about this in my journalism class right now.
Ooh.
We're talking about, that dopamine hit where you go online or you check your email just because someone might have sent you a message.
Yeah.
It's always that what if in the back of your mind, and having still moments does help to eliminate that, I'll tell you.
Yeah. Another way is to create art. I've always been sort of an artistic person, and in the past I used art as an outlet a lot of times, as my creative outlet, and I feel like sometimes it just helps me to sit and, doodle something out. And the last thing for me is driving.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
You've got road rage, though.
Well, it's getting better.
Okay.
I promise it is. You haven't rode with me in
maybe a week.
Yeah. But I do love to just kind of drive around town sometimes. It's a nice escape because you don't really have to think about anything else other than being on the road and
the task at hand.
Yeah, and I turn the music up and I drive around, and it's just a good time. It's
That's
just a little
wonderful.
present moment. Thank you. What about you?
Well, similarly to what you first said, I love sitting in nature. We probably say this every single podcast, but we were born and raised in the South, and so we're used to a lot of nature around us.
Yeah.
And to have to walk somewhere, walk to the Grove or go to the park or go to a coffee shop to experience that nature setting is quite an adjustment for me, because I'm used to walking outside and just seeing trees and wood and sticks,
Yeah.
essentially. But sitting in nature really does calm my mind, especially in this beautiful weather we've been having recently.
Yes.
It is so beautiful.
Let me tell you. I'm sorry to interrupt.
No,
I just
go
really need to
ahead.
share this. Y'all, the weather is one of the main factors when it comes into what my mood is, and I really shouldn't let outside factors affect my mood, but the weather does play a big part in that for me. And the weather we've been having this week and even last week, it's literally amazing.
It's stunning. No other word can capture it but stunning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love to sit outside, especially now, and I like to bask in the sun around the greenery. I love listening to the birds talk to each other. I know you said that you don't really get the whole bird thing, but what it is for me is sitting outside and kind of tuning out to my thoughts and tuning into the birds' conversation.
I love that perspective.
Thank you. Yeah, I also like people watching. Anywhere, anytime, I love to people watch. I like to put my sunglasses on and sit down somewhere and just observe.
Yeah.
I love to observe. This one's a little bit odd, but it's something that I've always loved. I love just staring at my ceiling.
Okay.
It's cathartic for me. I don't know what it is. It does something for my brain where, I could be doing other things, but I just need this one quiet, still moment to stare at my ceiling.
I think I'll give that a try.
I think you should. Yeah, I think it's quite effective, if I do say so myself. I love having an organized, ritualistic, dependable night routine. This is something that I've probably talked about a few episodes ago, but it's sort of a new thing for me. I obviously had a night routine in high school, but adjusting that in college, it looks a lot different than it did when I was in high school. So having that to depend on has really helped me quiet my thoughts, because right now it's not something that is a chore for me. It's something that I get to do.
Yeah.
I get to take care of myself, and I get to prepare myself for bed, and it just calms something in my brain, and it kind of signals to myself that it's almost time for bed. It's time to wind down. Nighttime is among us. I think that's more of a mental thing, but it does quiet my thoughts. Yeah, and my last one that I love that I unfortunately don't get to do a whole lot anymore is spending intentional time with my animals back home.
Oh.
If you know me personally, you know I'm obsessed with each and every one of the animals I own. I have 11.
Gosh.
You know I have 11.
I know, it's just, it's still crazy every time you say it.
Yeah, there's a lot, but it doesn't feel that way. Something about just having an animal, another being that's not a human, that you can put the time in to spend with them, because it's not like a human where you're like, hey, do you want to go do this and this and this, or you can't text them, although I wish you could. That would be awesome. That is something that's really important to me, because nothing else is on my mind except the time being spent with my animals when I do have that time.
And I'm sure they love that time as well.
You know what? I think they do. But it's just having those still moments. That's sort of an escapism, a type of escapism for your brain.
Yeah.
I personally don't feel like right now I have the luxury of having my thoughts wander, which that is how I've always found creativity and dug up inspiration from within myself, is having my thoughts wander. That's just, how my brain works. And I feel like I can't really do that right now, because I feel as if even my thoughts have this specific agenda to follow. So it's so important for me to touch base with some type of stillness in my life.
Mm-hmm.
In order to find stillness, you must first recognize the need for stillness.
Love that.
Thank you. Implement quiet moments in your day with intent. Just as I was speaking about my animals, spending time with my animals, that's intentional.
Yeah.
I make the effort to, I said I have 11. I can't split that time equally, of course, and everyone who knows me personally will tell me that I spend time with one cat more than the others. I'll talk about him another day.
Shout out to Ziggy.
Love you, ZZ.
You know what? That's who my shout out goes to this week.
Should we just do our shout out right now?
Yes, we should.
All right. My shout out for the day is for my dad. Today is his birthday.
Happy birthday.
Yes. And then of course Ziggy. They can talk about their shout out later. But have you ever thought, and I know I have, and Lucy, I know you have, but have you ever thought to yourself, gosh, I can't wait to get home and lay in my bed?
Oh yeah.
Every day. Yeah, that's actually your brain craving an intentionally still moment.
Oh.
You should be kind to yourself and give yourself more of those moments because for us, I really do think this is how we process things.
Yeah.
One is talking about things.
Oh, yeah.
We talk about situations until, maybe 3 years later.
No, seriously.
Genuinely,
yeah.
we do. But another way we process things for sure is taking a step back and having a moment to yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like in my life right now, it's not just Jacey. It's Jacey and her work, her college workload. You know, there's so many things that accompany me these days that I don't feel like I have the luxury, like I said earlier, of just having my thoughts wander. So having those still moments where you can be yourself, get in tune with yourself is crucial.
Yeah, I love how you mentioned that about, having the luxury of having your thoughts wander, because I feel like my thoughts just constantly wander. And, for me, I really would like to try to see it in the same way that you see it, because, I think of it as, okay, just be quiet, sometimes I just need everything to shut down, shut off, so that I can get some schoolwork done, which is actually, I feel like that's something I really struggle with because, I feel like I'm an internal processor, and so I'll just find myself going down these rabbit holes, and it can be harmful sometimes when it comes to get my schoolwork done, but at the end of the day, I do think that it's a beautiful thing to see it as a luxury, and I love how you have that perspective.
Well, my thoughts also run rampant in my mind, and I don't really feel like there's a shut-off. I don't think that there's ever going to be a shut-off. Yeah. I am an overthinker to the max, but quite honestly, I was born that way.
Yeah.
I think I came out of the womb overthinking. I mean, I did come early, so I overthought my due date as well.
Me too.
Yeah, weren't we both a month early? Yeah. Go us. But yeah, thank you for saying that. I do feel like it is a luxury to kind of have that freedom of space in your mind that you can allow your thoughts to wander. So yeah, honestly, if you want your thoughts to wander, I would say go to the Grove, go to a park.
Yeah.
Find some outside source where you can sit in nature and just think.
Yeah.
Or observe. And I don't really go anywhere with the intention of, okay, I'm just going to sit outside and I'm just not going to think about anything. I'm just going to listen to the birds. Or, okay, I'm going to go sit outside and I'm just going to let my thoughts wander. No. When I go outside, I usually do have an agenda of what I need to do. But do you ever have those moments where your brain just cannot focus no matter what you do?
Definitely. Yeah. Almost every single day, I would say. But I guess, like you were talking about, it's all about perspective. That can be a blessing if you see it as one.
It's all about the way you look at things.
Yeah.
I feel like recently my focus has been really bad, and I think that is a reason why I'm experiencing this big, terrible thing called burnout. Yeah, I think I'm coming out of it a little bit, but this week's been extremely difficult to focus and even think or care about what I need to do, because I don't have the brain capacity, it feels, to achieve it. So I have been trying to have more still moments, and I found that it's working.
I love that.
Even last night, I met you in the Grove, and you did your schoolwork, and I read a book.
Yeah.
Not a textbook, not anything for my classes, just a book that I am reading right now. And I've also began re-listening to one of my favorite novels of all time, Yes, this is a plug because you should read it. It's called The Secret History by Donna Tartt.
Ooh.
You know who Donna Tartt is, as I talk about her often.
Well, I love this for you.
Thank you.
We will be right back after this short commercial break.
Yes.
The Daily Mississippian distributes thousands of its papers across the Ole Miss campus, Oxford, and beyond. The DM newsletter reaches over 27,000 subscribers each and every week. The website, easily over 1 million impressions regularly. If you want Ole Miss and Oxford to know about your business, advertise in the Daily Mississippian. Call 662-259-6081 to ask about our print, online, and newsletter advertising packages. That's 662-259-6081. Or email dmads@olemiss.edu.
And we're back. We've talked about finding solace in stillness, but what does this lead to?
Yeah.
Why should we even try to have those still moments for ourselves in the first place? Well, I'll tell you, it does lead to something. It leads to something that Lucy herself has been trying to focus on more intentionally recently, which is being more present,
Yeah.
being in the moment.
I feel like in today's age, in today's age.
I do that a lot too. I get so tongue twisted because
Yeah.
I'm focused on what I'm saying, and
Yeah.
then ugh.
In today's age, it's really normalized to have everything figured out and be extremely successful, making all this money, you're settled by your early 20s.
Mhm.
And, we see this on social media a lot with influencers, and I just wanted to point out that may not be normal for some people, and that's completely fine. It's okay to not have your life figured out at a young age. And I feel like part of that has led to people almost wishing life away.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
This goes hand in hand with that dopamine hit we were talking about, and it's crazy how addicted we all are to dopamine.
Yeah, and you see these people online, and they're making these videos where it looks like they just have everything together, everything's all figured out, they have their dream life, and then you start to go down this rabbit hole and you tell yourself, okay, everything will be fine once I have this job or this car or this house, and it gets to the point where the list is never ending.
Exactly.
You will not find your happiness that way.
Nope.
And it kills the whole idea of living in the present and being okay with where you are now.
Well, the issue is that people don't even know where to start with living in the moment.
Yeah.
I feel like we were born into the age where all of this was starting to kick up, and as young children, we were introduced to social media and
Yeah.
having it as an entertainment outlet. I mean, I remember some of my earliest memories are on the iPad, I'm not an iPad kid. I had other forms of entertainment. But yeah, you get so focused with, all right, well, I need to do this and this and this. I need to be a millionaire by 30. I need to be married with 3 kids by 35. That you're not living in the moment anymore.
Yeah.
You're so focused on the present you're so focused on the future that the present just doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
And then this is where high stress comes in. You're stressed all the time, and you don't know why. That is really...
Yeah.
I said something earlier about high stakes. It feels high stakes because you feel like this is life or death.
Yeah, it's like a race almost.
Absolutely. That's a wonderful example. It is. It feels like we're racing against the rest of the world, which
Yeah.
is not right. you have to be able to have that quietness and stillness within yourself and around you from time to time,
Right.
so that you enjoy the life that you were given, and it's not something that you're wishing away. I know that we have all done that. We've all wished some part of our lives away.
Yeah.
I was like that
definitely.
in high school. I was like, oh my gosh, when I get to college and when I'm done with high school, everything's going to be perfect and I'm going to be so much happier and yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
And I realized my senior year of high school, my environment did play a big factor on my happiness levels, but it was also about perspective, and it was all about that stillness and quietness that I could create within myself, and the way that I chose to look at things really helped a lot.
And I love how you can see this now, and you're sort of adjusting your mindset.
Yeah, adjusting your mindset, which is something that we spoke about last week, concerning change, that it changes your life.
Yeah.
Not to be dramatic, genuinely not to be dramatic, but it does. It changes the game. And a way you can start is by appreciating the little things. Just like we were talking about, some things that we like to do is going outside and sitting in the grass and just being in nature, not even doing anything, just being in the presence of nature.
Yeah. I would like to say, when it comes to gratitude, one thing that I've been practicing since I lived at home. Before college, my mom encouraged all of us to keep up with a gratitude journal. And every night before bed, I would get this journal out and I would write down 3 things. In the morning, I would write down 3 things I was looking forward to that day, and at night, I would write down 3 things that I was thankful for that day.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Thank you.
Do you think it contributed to the mindset you have now with prioritizing quiet moments and finding that stillness, being intentional with that? Do you think that
Yeah,
helped you?
I really think so. I think that it led to more, there's a word I'm looking for.
Let's see. It led to
Me wanting to be more intentional, about looking for the beauty in smaller things throughout the day.
Yeah, and it's really hard. Thank you for pointing that out, because it is hard to find the beauty in those still moments and appreciate quiet moments when you don't see the beauty in them. That is extremely difficult.
Yeah.
So I don't have it posted yet, but I will soon. Our previous episode spoke a lot on this, about change and growth and how the two coincide. That episode sort of leads into this one.
Yeah.
I would say they're sort of, I called them sister episodes. I think they're sisters. So yeah, if you're confused on change and how to be okay with change and adjusting your mindset, definitely give a listen, and I'll update that soon.
Love that.
Being more present. Back to the topic. Being more present allows you to live in the moment, like we said. It eliminates unneeded stress, and it helps you lower your need for constant dopamine. So we're always looking for the next big thing, like we said, to make us happy and find solace in the little moments.
Yeah.
But being on your phone and scrolling and getting a dopamine hit every video, that's not a little moment.
Mm-mm.
Sorry to tell ya.
And I just want to say this. I do think that cell phones and social media play the biggest part in this problem.
I agree. I mean, there was always some form of media, maybe
Yeah.
not always, but there was always something garnering everyone's attention, and recognizing that and not eliminating it, but reducing your intake.
Yeah.
This is going to help you a lot.
Yeah.
I know it's hard. It really is hard. because we're working at it as well, because
Yeah.
I think we do get on here and we say, well, this is how you do this and yada yada yada, but these are all things that we're still figuring out
Yeah.
ourselves, or
Yeah.
have very recently figured out.
Right. We're definitely not experts.
We are not doctors, nor have we claimed to be.
Yeah, the other day I actually, we always talk about Instagram Reels, so I set
Always.
a time limit for myself on Instagram for 1 hour, and the little notification will pop up and it'll say you've reached your daily limit. So yeah, that is something I'm trying to work on too, and that's just an example of us also putting these things into practice.
Yeah, because take last night, for example. We could have spent that in our beds on Instagram Reels, but we set the intent for going outside, finding a place in the grove to sit, and
Yeah.
putting our minds to something else. You with your schoolwork, me with my book.
Yeah.
Were you going to say something? Oh, sorry. You just looked like you were about to say something. Sorry. Additionally, being more present allows you to be a better person, a better friend, and a better
Ooh.
student. And what I mean by this is, I keep giving example questions, but I think we've all experienced this before. Have you ever been, let's say, to lunch with somebody, a friend or a family member, and you're talking to them about something that happened to you recently, or something that you're really passionate or excited for, and they're on their phone?
Oh yeah.
They're texting somebody back. They're
So
Snapchatting
annoying.
somebody back. I find that to be extremely rude. And when I do that, it's usually because I'm texting my parents or something, or,
Yeah.
Ziggy wanted to say hey, and I have to respond, but I always say, I'm sorry, I'm not ignoring you, I'm going to do this really quick.
Yeah.
That's intentional. That's me wanting my mind to be focused on the conversation at hand and the person at hand.
Yeah.
And people notice that. They do. They
Yeah.
notice when you're more present, and they notice when you're more intentional with the things that you do. And it makes you a better friend.
Yeah.
Which ultimately makes you a better person.
Yeah, and I feel like it also really contributes to your mood and your confidence, which also ties into that, because I personally do struggle with really bad mood swings, and I am a woman, so it's normal to an extent, but I think that being on my phone, being on social media does contribute to that a lot, because I have noticed that when I spend more time being present and productive and doing things that I actually need to do, and not just putting it off and saying, okay, I'll do this later, and just making time for things that I want to do as well, it improves my mood so much.
Yeah.
And also, I've found that my mood doesn't fluctuate as much when I do put my phone down.
It's crazy that you say that, because we haven't even had that conversation, but I'm experiencing the same thing as well.
Yeah.
Not with the mood swings, but with the whole feeling better when you put the phone down and do something else for yourself.
Yeah.
Sometimes you go on Instagram expecting a getaway. You want to just mindlessly scroll.
Right.
I get it. Like I use that as an outlet too sometimes. And then you get online wanting to watch funny videos, funny cat videos, cooking videos, those videos where they do the soap cuttings.
Oh, yeah.
Those are amazing. And then you open the app and you see none of those videos, and instead you see all this gore and horror and everything wrong with the world.
Oh, yeah.
And your For You page,
Mhm.
whatever it's called, it's just not giving you what you want, and so you close the app. You've wasted your time, and you don't feel better. You feel worse.
Yeah.
You feel worse. But I'll tell you, if you do one of those things that offers you a still moment, like we said, we keep saying it, but it's true, going out in nature and observing, listening to the sounds, and watching for the squirrels to run from tree to tree, that really does make you feel better. And at first it seems so boring. It's like, I don't want to sit here. I have
Yeah.
things to do. One thing that I'm quickly realizing is that there is always going to be something else I could be doing.
Yeah.
But it's about the intent. It's about wanting to have that sacred space for yourself so that you can better yourself.
Yeah, and I love that because last night when I was sitting in the Grove and you came to sit with me, you were talking about how, you had so much to do, but then you mentioned, I'm always going to have something to do, but I also want to make time for the things that I want to do. And, you sat there and you read your book and you were just so happy that you made time for that. And those things are just so important.
They are. Because it's really easy to lose yourself in your schoolwork, which is something that I think that happened to me at some point between beginning school and just recently, and I'm coming out of that. I'm realizing that my schoolwork is so important to me, and I'm so passionate about what I'm pursuing and what I'm doing, but it's not what defines me.
Yeah.
What defines me is me. I am not my schoolwork, and I said earlier how I feel like I always have this agenda to be followed, and I feel like I'm not separate from my schoolwork anymore. This will separate you from your schoolwork, though.
A little encouraging story to go along with that. A few weeks ago, I was really struggling in a class, and I went to ask one of my professors about a question I had. Basically, to sum it up, this professor made me feel like a complete idiot. I'm just going to say it. He did.
I remember.
And so I was trying to keep it together, and after that, I ran in the bathroom, and I just sat in the stall, and I kind of cried for a minute. I had to get it out. And I looked up, and on the bathroom, the door to the bathroom stall, it said, "Your grade doesn't define you."
I love that.
And I posted that on my Instagram story because I'm thinking, you know what? I needed to hear this right now.
Yeah.
And I got myself together, and I got out of that bathroom, and I conquered the rest of the day.
And you've conquered your grade now.
Yes.
You've worked and you've put in the effort, but you've also adjusted your routine.
Yeah.
And you're making time for yourself.
Yeah.
You go to coffee shops you want to go to. You go to events you want to go to. You make outside time for yourself. The things that we tell you guys, it's not just fluff.
Yeah.
It really does help.
We apply these things to our lives too, or we try to.
We try to, yeah. We'll write something down on our outline and we'll think, gosh, well, that's good. We need to implement that into our lives.
Yeah.
And then, obviously we fail and we get back up, but that's how it always is.
Yeah, love that.
You need to allow yourself a break, though. And this isn't an excuse for failing classes or missing work. The way my classes are set up, I have math work every single day. And I can you said this to me the other day about one of my online classes, about how I can kind of strategize with my grade.
Yeah.
Which is so true. I've been doing that all semester. I've been strategizing with my work.
Yeah.
But I've been strategizing so I could leave room for other work.
I love that.
And now I'm sort of adjusting my mindset of, all right, let me strategize so I can go have a quiet moment to myself.
Ooh.
I remember in high school, I always used to say to you how important my quiet time was.
Yeah.
And if you don't know this about me, I'm an only child. I didn't grow up with any siblings, just animals. And so not having quiet time 24/7 is alarming to me. It's weird. It's different.
Yeah.
And I've had to adjust my mindset. But in the process, I forgot to allow myself quiet time.
Yeah, and I love how you talked about how you're, being an only child can maybe contribute to this, new mindset that you need to develop, because I'm actually not an only child. I'm the oldest of 4 kids in my family, and so when I was back home, I love my siblings, I love my family, never a dull moment, but it's not that I didn't have a lot of time for myself. There were so many times when I'm constantly, having to do this or do that, for other people in my family, that has nothing to do with me. And so whenever I came here, it was sort of like, okay, so I have all of this time for myself. How do I balance this, and what do I do with it? And I feel like that's been hard for me because I saw it as sort of this luxurious thing, not having to worry about anybody else, not having any responsibilities other than my own. And, I slacked off a lot on my schoolwork. I'm not even going to lie to you. I did. And I just feel like finding balance is different for everybody. And I feel like how you grew up really does contribute to that.
Absolutely, yeah. And conversely, I feel like as an only child, I've only ever had to worry about myself.
Yeah.
Therefore, when I got to college, I focused so heavily on my schoolwork, my workload, extracurriculars, where I wanted to be, doing things for my future self, that I forgot about present me.
Yeah.
And I forgot about that quiet time and making intentional time for those still moments. And like I said, I'm slowly coming out of that. It is something to adjust to, though. Everything we speak about on this podcast, I think, is an adjustment. It's not easy stuff, but you need to allow your brain a rest. It's not procrastinating if your brain is craving a moment of solitude and escapism.
Yeah. And that ties into balance, which we talked about, I believe it was the first episode.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which is on our YouTube.
Yeah. That also does contribute to balance, because while it's not procrastinating and it is self-care, to an extent.
Yeah, of course.
You have to balance everything out. And of course you can't just say all the time, oh, I need to just sit in the stillness and not do anything. Because that is definitely what I was doing at first. But yeah, it's a learning process. And we are also going through that learning process.
Yes, always a learning process. We actually want to challenge everyone listening to pinpoint a quiet, still moment and stick to it.
Yeah.
I think my quiet moment that I'm really going to make a priority for myself is going to a coffee shop and sitting there and people watching and observing and enjoying my coffee and just sitting.
I love that.
Maybe reading my book, maybe doing an assignment or two, but not overwhelming myself with all these dopamine hits, which we talked about earlier. What about you?
I would love to get back into reading. I feel like I haven't read a book in about a month or two, and it really makes me sad, because I did used to be sort of a big reader, and I would just love to make that a part of my daily routine again. And also, another thing I would like to practice this week is finding ways to make my schoolwork more fun for me.
Nice.
And really changing my perspective and seeing that as I'm so thankful I get to do this.
Absolutely.
And not, I have to do this.
Yeah.
And I think that one of the ways I've been doing this is by sitting in the grove and doing my schoolwork. And I would really just love to make that a part of my everyday or my every other day. So yeah, that is how I'm going to practice that. Thank you.
Selfishly, I want you to get back into reading because I have about 30 recommendations.
Oh, I can't even read 30 books in a year.
Yeah, unfortunately, I no longer can either, which breaks my heart. But yeah, make time for yourself.
Yeah.
Make time for your hobbies. Don't use that as an excuse to not do your schoolwork.
Please.
But allow yourself those still moments. Let's give our still moments that we enjoy experiencing one more time in case anybody wants a recommendation.
All right.
Shall I go first or you?
You can go first.
All right. I said my still moments are sitting in nature and basking in the sun and the greenery, listening to birds talk to each other, people watching, staring at my ceiling, and spending intentional time with my animals.
Love those. Mine were sitting in the grove, getting off of my phone, creating art, and driving around town listening to my music.
Love it. I'd like to join you for
Of
one of those
course.
car rides. Lucy and I, a little parting note, Lucy and I have the exact opposite music taste. The only artist that we both like is Michael Jackson.
Shout out to Mike.
Shout out to Mike, yeah. Man, miss you, Mike. Anyway, and on that note, I think we need to go give ourselves a moment of stillness.
Yeah.
Don't you think so?
I think so.
I'm going to go grab a coffee. I'm going to go do some reading.
Sounds good.
Yeah. Thank you so much for listening to our 4th episode of the Roommate Podcast. We do have an Instagram at theroommate.pod. 2 O's, 2 M's. We have a YouTube now, which is in the bio of our Instagram. I'll upload this video as soon as I can get to it. After my moment of stillness, I'll do that. But yeah, again, thank you so much. If you have any questions, let us know on our Instagram.
And if you have any recommendations for future episodes, we would love to hear those.
We would love to hear those. We'll see you next week, Wednesday at 3 p.m. Bye, everybody.
Bye.